Sir Walter Raleigh, a prominent figure in Elizabethan England, envisioned English colonies in the New World. In 1584, he secured a charter from Queen Elizabeth I to explore and colonize North America's eastern coast. Raleigh financed an expedition to find a location for the first English settlement. His dream aligned with England's desire to challenge Spanish dominance. Spain had a strong presence in the Caribbean and South America. Establishing an English presence would provide a strategic advantage. The prospect of discovering gold and silver fueled enthusiasm for colonization. Raleigh entrusted the expedition to Arthur Barlow and Philip Amadas. They set sail with 2 ships, embarking on a journey filled with unknowns. Their mission was to find a location for a permanent English settlement. Their voyage marked the beginning of a historical enigma that captivates imaginations centuries later. In the summer of 1584, Barlow and Amadas reached the shores of what is now North Carolina. They landed on Roanoke Island, part of the Outer Banks, and were greeted by the native Algonquin people. Initially wary, the Algonquin eventually traded and shared their knowledge. Barlow and Amadas found Roanoke to be beautiful, with fertile land and abundant wildlife. They returned to England with glowing reports describing it as a paradise. Queen Elizabeth I was so impressed that she named the new territory Virginia. The stage was set for the first English colony in North America. Buoyed by the success of the first expedition, Sir Walter Raleigh organized a second voyage in 1585. This time, the goal was to establish a permanent settlement on Roanoke Island. The expedition, comprising over 100 men, led by Sir Richard Grenville, arrived at Roanoke and began constructing a fort and dwellings. The colonists faced numerous challenges from the outset. The supplies they brought from England proved inadequate, and the local Algonquin tribes, initially welcoming, became increasingly hostile as the colonists demanded food and resources. The relationship between the English and the native inhabitants deteriorated rapidly. Furthermore, the harsh conditions of the New World, including unfamiliar diseases and unpredictable weather, took a toll on the colonists. Sir Richard Grenville returned to England for supplies, leaving Ralph Lane in charge of the colony. However, the expected relief ships were delayed. By the summer of 1586, the situation at Roanoke had become dire. Food was scarce, and skirmishes with the Algonquin were frequent. When Sir Francis Drake arrived at Roanoke with his fleet, the beleaguered colonists abandoned the settlement and returned to England with him. Section 4, Hope and Uncertainty, the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Despite the failure of the first attempt at colonization, Sir Walter Raleigh remained determined to establish a permanent English presence in the New World. In 1587, he dispatched a third expedition to Roanoke, this time under the leadership of John White. Unlike the previous expeditions, this group included women and children, indicating a genuine attempt at establishing a lasting colony. Among the passengers on this voyage was John White's pregnant daughter, Eleanor Dare. Shortly after their arrival at Roanoke, Eleanor gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. Her birth symbolized hope and the promise of a new beginning for the colonists. However, the colony's early days were fraught with challenges. John White, recognizing the need for more supplies and support from England, decided to return to his homeland, leaving behind his daughter, granddaughter, and the other colonists. He promised to return as soon as possible. Section 5. Theories and Speculations. Unraveling the Mystery. John White's return to England was delayed due to the Anglo-Spanish War. When he finally arrived back at Roanoke in 1590, he was greeted by an eerie silence. The settlement was deserted, the houses were intact, but the colonists were gone. The only clue to their fate was the word CROATOAN carved into a post and the letters CRO etched into a nearby tree. The disappearance of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. Numerous theories have been proposed to explain their fate. Some historians believe that the colonists were absorbed into nearby native tribes, perhaps the CROATOAN tribe, whose name was found carved on the post. Others speculate that they fell victim to disease, starvation, or conflict with hostile tribes. Archaeological investigations have yielded tantalizing clues, but no definitive answers. Excavations have uncovered evidence of both English and Native American artifacts, suggesting possible interactions between the two groups. However, the ultimate fate of the Roanoke colonists remains shrouded in mystery, leaving behind a legacy of speculation and intrigue.